Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of X5 Retail Group, I welcome you at our annual Investor Day, which this year X5 is holding for the first time online. The company has much to be proud of. When we look back at the past 12 months, they were challenging, and we have new strategic plans to share with you today. At X5, we view challenges as new opportunities, and the COVID-19 pandemic was, of course, such a challenge. However, it was the online format that made it possible to invite a much larger group of investors than usual, because over the last 2 years since we listed X5 depository receipts at Moscow Stock Exchange, dozens of thousands of domestic retail investors have joined our investor pool, and more than 700 participants are registered at this event. And now I would like everyone to note the obligatory disclaimer, and I do hope that you will see it on the screen straight away. And today we offer you a format which is packed with both management presentations and short video clips to sustain the interest of such a wide audience. And we intend to spend about 3 hours with you, and we will split the event into 2 parts, with a 30-minute Q&A session at the end of each part, and a 15-minute break after the first Q&A session. And we, together with Andrei Vasin, will facilitate them. In the first part, we will cover the new strategy and discuss the financial results published yesterday. And in the second part, the heads of the respectively. 2 years ago in London, we introduced Respect the Past but Create the Future. We definitely have something to respect and be proud of. So I would like to sum up what has been done. The focus of our strategy dealt with 3 elements, components: strengthening the existing business, digital transformation, and creating the basis for a new generation retail. And I will focus on key achievements in each of the 3 pillars. In strengthening the current business, we managed to keep the EBITDA margin above 7% throughout the period. Our profitability came to 7.8 in the 9 months, and it had to do with operational efficiency, including a 69 basis points shrinkage reduction over the last 2 years. We also managed to achieve a major improvement in key personnel turnover. This figure dropped to 40% in 2020 compared to 69% in 2018. This led to a higher like-for-like and NPS figures. And the like-for-like growth is largely due to the deployment of the new formats, and Sergei and Vlad will talk about it in more detail. Our stronger customer focus is reflected in the NPS growth. We surpass our federal competitors, while the new Pyaterochka format NPS rose by 50% to 53 points. We are successfully implementing the private label program. The share of private label has grown to 17% in Pyaterochka. It is 18% in Pyaterochka and 14.5% in Perekrestok. We continue the digital transformation of our business. We have automated the decision-making algorithms for key processes in pricing, assortment management, and demand. And this will have the major improvement for our EBITDA, and this will also ensure the access to the data about the clients to all the businesses of X5. This is achieved through X5 ID. Based on the results of the entire entire digital transformation program, we expect the total EBITDA effect to exceed 20 billion rubles per year, starting from 2021. And we have created an innovation center that has become a benchmark for the industry. 32 pilot-based solutions have already been implemented. For example, we developed our own self-service cash registers, which save about 200,000 rubles per unit compared to the average market prices, and more than 1,200 X5 stores already have 3,500 self-service cash registers, and total capex savings this year alone will exceed 900 million rubles. We successfully implemented the first stage of our new generation retail development program. This April, for the first time, we became the leader of the domestic e-grocery market. This was due to the successful development of the online hypermarket Perekrestok Vprok and the rapid development of express delivery. In October, we delivered 20,000 orders per day via express delivery. In 2021, Perekrestok Vprok will reach positive EBITDA. Our logistics platform 5 Post, that is the parcel delivery service, already has more than 14,000 outlets in our stores and handles over 700,000 parcels per month. It attracts customers to our stores, and it is fully in line with our concept that a store is a place where a guest can get the maximum number of services, and definitely it drives additional traffic to the stores. And this year we faced a new reality of the pandemic, and I can't but thank our team, which has faced all the challenges of this period with dignity. I'm especially thankful to our salespeople, our drivers, the distribution center staff, to all those who cannot work remotely from the comfort of their homes because of the nature of their work. And every single day they are at the risk of getting sick. But from the very onset of the pandemic, all the systems have been working smoothly. We have not allowed any interruptions, and we were one of the first large companies in Moscow which transferred 90% of our office staff to home office mode. At the moment, 95% of Moscow office workers work remotely. During the lockdown, a large number of new customers came to our stores. People's mobility was restricted, and this made then convenience stores the first and sometimes the only choice, and we emphasize the service level and the security. During the pandemic, digital services experienced explosive growth. We were able to quickly promote the express delivery service and to buy contactlessly. Now, during the second wave, Pyaterochka and Perekrestok help customers receive products safely from the comfort of their homes through express delivery service in Moscow, St. Petersburg, Kazan, Krasnodar, Rostov-on-Don, Nizhny Novgorod, Yekaterinburg, and Voronezh, and just the other day, we launched it in Novosibirsk. A pandemic is a crisis, but it also means new development opportunities for the companies that are quickly adapting to new realities. Companies that have the infrastructure for the development of online services are well positioned to accelerate growth and to strengthen their leadership. Now, moving on to our new strategy. When forming our strategy for the next 3 years, we certainly analyze consumer trends. The scale and pace of changes over the past 5 years have created a completely different competitive environment and are quickly forming a new type of consumer with great expectations. We can no longer say that food retail has separate online and offline segments. We also can no longer say that there are separate markets for food retail and catering. All of this is becoming a single food market, and consumer behaviors are changing before our eyes. I would like to show to you a short video with key consumer trends that are at the base of our new strategy.
Insights into how customer behavior is evolving and an opportunity to explore new areas of business. The fast pace of life fuels need for convenience. Customers expect stores and services to be accessible around the clock and are looking to minimize time spent searching or shopping for food. This demand for convenience is reflected in the changing behavior of retailers, with stores now offering various customer journeys, navigation aids, and self-checkouts. New services such as grab-and-go micro-markets, click and collect, parcel lockers, and express delivery are also gaining in popularity. Technology is becoming increasingly ubiquitous in our lives, with virtual assistants and chatbots, smart devices and drones, and neural networks and AI-enabled apps all now part of the mainstream. Consumers go online to compare brands and prices, often making a purchase decision as they research options and plan their shopping. 2/3 of Russians feel the need to slow down. People want to cut down on the hassle, learn to enjoy the little things, and live simpler lives. Half of Russians go to shopping malls purely for entertainment, and more than 1/3 consider the shopping experience to be more important than the things they buy. The trend towards sustainable consumption, vegetarian diets, and eco-brands is gaining momentum. Many are willing to pay extra for environmentally friendly products, and 3 out of 4 are prepared to sort waste for recycling. Almost 1/3 of Russian consumers choose goods and services based on their understanding of a healthy lifestyle. 9 out of 10 admitted that they would like to look better and improve their physical condition. These days, there is a growing number of aging consumers in Russia. The older generation know how to earn money and are ready to spend. Almost half of Russians are concerned about safety. 3 out of 4 consumers had chosen to stay home even before the lockdown. In the post-COVID-19 era, digital media are coming to the fore and overtaking television as a source of information for consumers. 8 out of 10 people globally trust online reviews of real customers and recommendations, and the opinions of others are often a factor in the decision to purchase goods or services. Price remains the main driver of product choice for Russians. That said, other factors such as customer experience and product quality are gradually gaining ground.
So where did we start with our new strategy? We looked at the entire customer journey, which more and more often begins in the digital environment, long before the customer comes to the store. And if we are to have more customers in our stores, it's vital that we are at the very beginning of that journey. It's important to be with the customer before they even show up in our store. Today, more than 64% of consumers decide to buy something at the planning and selection stages, which start in the digital format. Digital resources are still at the planning phase, and they're just trying to connect directly to retailers. But these resources at the selection stage are already defining the customer's future journey. They are aggregators and price comparison tools. Only after the choice is made, the purchase takes place at the store. And so far, this is the only step of the client journey within X5's control. But even today, we already compete not only with food retailers there, but also with restaurants and cafes and delivery services. After buying and receiving food, the client journey is not over. Our digital competitors offer the customer-related services. For example, payment services or subscription that generate new purchases. The presence of X5 in most stages of the customer journey represents a strategic opportunity that our new strategy will allow us to lever. And in the next 3 years, our main focus will be on strengthening our business in the food market. We will expand our presence in all segments. Our strategy is based on our competitive advantages as the largest retailer in the country's food market. That is the purchasing power and millions of loyal customers. It is important for us to create a digital infrastructure for our customers to be present at all stages of the customer's journey in food. And this will be our advantage, both in competing with traditional retailers and with new ecosystem players. Technological leadership becomes the most powerful driver for us and part of our competitive edge. The growth strategy of the core business is largely related to digital transformation. 80% of our investment in digitization goes to the automation of our core business processes. We also realize that achieving our goals will be impossible without transforming our culture. In a rapidly changing business environment, the key success factors are speed, the ability to delegate authority, and the ability to make decisions in an uncertain environment. And our new model will be about efficiency and speed of decision-making. The new strategy will allow us to maintain our leadership position. The 2023 strategy will determine the company's development for the next 3 years, but we are convinced that the foundation for the next 5-10 years.
Our main goal is to create value for shareholders and society by taking technology and competition to a new level, remaining the #1 choice on the food market for our guests. And the new strategy implementation offers all the necessary tools to achieve this goal. The implementation of Strategy 2023 will ensure X5's presence at all the stages of the client path, customer journey, and will form the necessary competencies in media, finance, and e-commerce. We will create full-fledged services that cover the majority of key human needs. New directions can be formed either by ourselves or through partnerships. Being present at all the stages of customer journey will enable us to strengthen our core business, attract more guests, and provide them with a full range of services. Well, the key priorities which will help us to achieve the goals of the new strategy are: the first priority is leadership in the food market. Our focus will be on the 3 key areas: leadership in key client missions, best customer experience and services at all stages of the customer journey. By 2023, our share in the food retail market should make up 15%, not less, having increased from 11.5% in 2019. In the e-grocery market, we plan to increase our share up to 20% by 2023. Priority #2, achievement of technology. Leadership in technology. Our goal is to achieve industry leadership in digitalization through the best mobile interfaces in the retail market, as well as through end-to-end digitalization services, the level of the store and the supply chain. By 2023, the share of digital businesses of X5 revenue should be at least 5%, and by 2030, 20%. The total MAU of the digital channels and mobile applications by 2023 should reach 38 million customers, and this will provide us with a critical mass of users for a complete transformation into a digital company. Currently, the MAU for X5 is at 12 million customers level. fully aware of how important sustainable development and social responsibility are for society and communities and investors today. For the first time, sustainable development goals with specific metrics have become a valid part of our strategy. I will tell about that in more details later. The X5 Supervisory Board fully recognizes the value of the company's contribution to sustainable development. One of the indicators for the new LTI program will be in the field of ESG, and all the objectives of the new LTI program will be announced next March after its final approval. And finally, another important priority, and that is to create value for shareholders through increased earnings per share. We will try to ensure the growth of shareholders' value through effective and efficient management and the use of development opportunities, as well as by maintaining high dividend payouts. Now it's time for me to turn the floor to Vladimir Salakhutdinov, Director of Strategy, and who will speak in more details about the strategy. Thank you very much, Igor. Ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, good afternoon. I would like to disclose a number of key priorities which Igor has outlined. Let's start with priority 1. It's leadership in the food market. It's composed of 3 main elements. It's first, leader in key customer missions. In this area, we target to strengthen our position, our leadership in all key missions in food retail. And most of the initiatives you can see here deals with the further CVP development of the formats. We have a clear-cut agenda for all our initiatives for the next years that will enable us to make a good progress. It has to do with the development of new concepts, formats, assortments, product range in the area of ready-to-eat products. I'll speak about later. And one of the crucial elements of that block is the implementation of digital solutions. First of all, it's the decision-making automation based on AI. It's commercial decisions, pricing decisions, promo decisions. We have already launched those projects, and we can see that they pay back immensely. But it does not complete the agenda. In the same block, further on, we will present a new format a little bit later. It's a hard discounter format for our new stores. I will speak about that later. Another priority, which is inside our first priority, is best in the market customer experience. It's true that over the past year we have established a very efficient platform for feedback collection. We are receiving feedback about preferences and consumer experience from 15 different channels. And it enables us to cast a unique look at the business, and so to build all our processes and decisions based on the interests of the customers. In fact, it's not just an account of some new decisions. It's a transformation of the model, and partially it's the transformation of the culture. And so it is CX, acronym of customer experience. It doesn't matter which channel provides the service, distant, digital, or offline channel. The ultimate goal is that every channel of X5 is to be the best in the market. And the information that we have now, data that we have now, enables us to change our views and attitudes to promo. And we know that if we are aware of what we can offer our customers, we can really start our journey to customized promos, which will be our next horizon. So the first priority here is the infrastructure and services and all the stages of the customer journey. Igor already told you every detail of that, but I'll also speak about that later. On this slide, you can see a number of key notions which shape X5's vision in the next horizon. First of all, it is the structure of the formats. We have mostly 3 offline and 1 digital or online formats. You are fully aware of 2 of them. It's Pyaterochka and Perekrestok. They are physical formats. Perekrestok Online or Perekrestok Vprok now is another digital format of Perekrestok. And here you can see one more, and it is a hard discounter. It's the first time when we announce its name. It is called Chizhik, and later on I'll also speak in more details about that name. What is also important here? Well, we have a serious progress in the digital formats. It's our express delivery service. It's the delivery from Pyaterochka and Perekrestok from the food chain, and the Okolo aggregator, which means nearby or near, and it aggregates capabilities not only us but our suppliers such as QSR, restaurants, drug stores, and many others. And when we speak about when we come to the breakdown of our businesses, I'll also give you more details. Speaking of CVP, here is the target that we're going to achieve in the strategic horizon up to 2023. That's the breakdown and distribution of CVP of the 3 retail formats enable us to have the maximum coverage for all customer groups and maximize the market share. Currently, there is a specific set of initiatives for each format, which is very clearly planned, and we think that this is the combination which provides us with the best diversification, which enables us to know all customers' preferences and which enable us to maximize the market share. Earlier, I made a point saying that big data analytics is playing more and more importance here with us, and here I would like to tell you what we are doing with the big data to enhance the CVP.
Dialog X5 is a new multi-use portal for our partners. The platform offers tools to analyze consumer behavior across a variety of product categories, track logistics processes, target relevant audiences, and measure the impact of advertising campaigns. This and dozens of other solutions are available by subscription to give you around-the-clock access to the ultimate data analytics tool, making business management expeditious and impactful. Targeting, a system that accurately matches ads to target viewers. Thanks to the broad reach and accurate data segmentation, ads can promptly reach the right audiences. Instead of vague, conventional metrics, the system delivers precise and insightful data to estimate the real benefit of a campaign. Logistics, an accurate tool to measure the quality of interaction between the retailer and the supplier. It can address all supply chain related matters by providing both parties with up-to-date information, reports, and forecasts. Insights is designed to monitor sales in a given category and analyze consumption patterns. This is an analytics platform powered by data on X5 customers and their behavior. In particular, portal users can perform factor analysis of changes in key business metrics and detect sources of change in sales and cannibalization, build decision trees and analyze cross-purchases, look into the customer profile, reasons for customer inflows or outflows, and shopping patterns, assess the effectiveness of promo campaigns, new launches, and in-store trials. One of a kind on the Russian market, Dialog X5 delivers a comprehensive approach to business. The digital portal continues to bolster its capabilities by upgrading dashboards, adding metrics and granularity options, and expanding analytics parameters. We keep our eye on the big picture and offer our partners advanced subscription-based solutions to grow together.
Well, it's very important to point out that the analytics services we're using are also accessible to our partners, as you could see, to our suppliers, to our vendors, and it also makes up one of our competitive edges. But let's move on. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time, I would like to introduce a new brand, which is Chizhik. Those are the hard discounter stores, and they're going to be open to be launched even this week. On this Thursday, on the Dolgoprudna Street 11A, a store will be commissioned, will be launched. This year we're going to open only a few pilot stores. Next year the share will be added with another 50, and we will keep on increasing the scale. Chizhik, what made us call it this name? It's a bird. And it took us long to figure out what name we can give to our new format, to our new store. We decided that it had to be friendly, something that generates positive emotions. Chizhik is a bird, a very friendly bird, and also it's an acronym for black and yellow colors in Russian, and those are the colors of the format of the stores format we're going to introduce. Please remember the name. I think very soon this name will be as popular as Pyaterochka and Perekrestok. It's a hard discounter with a limited product range, not more than 800 SKUs, and in our targeted model, 60% of the products will be made up of private label products. It's not going to be the case at the start, but later we will reach that. Sales area will be about 200-300 square meters, and the choice of assortment of product range will be different, as well as the management models. So the format that will offer just another category of prices. So we borrowed something from hard discounter models of the foreign markets, but we also complemented that with all technological advantages that X5 has mastered, and we're convinced that this format will be quite solid and strong in the retail market. The most competitive edge of the new format will be its pricing policy, and you're all invited. Another important point to make, but we would like to emphasize it once again. One of the very important trends we've been witnessing of late is the very fast growth of ready-to-eat category, and it cannot be ignored. On the contrary, we are absolutely convinced that it's exactly what our consumers want to have. So the new category will offer a very important leap in selling the numbers of ready-to-eat products. And looking at our ambitions, it's true that we would like to see its volumes to make 4% in Pyaterochka and 8% in Perekrestok. It's something that we are aware of, and we have all the capabilities to cope with the problem, and we are negotiating with our partners to support us in that. Now, it's time to speak in more details about the customer journey. Igor already said something about our plans, but what do we want to make exactly so that to be present at all stages of the customer journey, which starts long before customers come into the store? We are aware of the fact that 60% of the customers have already made up their minds before entering the store, and the question where they make that decisions, that question led us to the graph that you have on the slide now.
What does it consist of? Very often the journey starts in social media or the blogs about food or podcasts. All of these are shaping our preferences now. We don't have any other choice but to be close to our customer at the beginning of the customer journey. This is why we are going to have our own media platform around food, and this will be the most important stage at the start to set the relations with our customers. But that's not all. We also know that apart from the planning, the customers often deal with the choice of where they want this need to be met. And one of the tools in the market are the aggregators, because an aggregator is not just an app where one can buy something. It's also an app to compare prices and select the product. And for us, this situation is very obvious, and we made a decision that we are going to have our own aggregator called Okolo. We have already made an announcement, as well as our own price comparison service. We were asked by the colleagues whether creating an aggregator means competing against the incumbent players like the existing digital competitors. Yes and no. Yes, we are going to offer different services, including our own formats and other services, including fast food restaurants, drogeries, and other sellers of different products and services. But the difference will be that we are not targeting to maximize the profit with the aggregator. It is about attracting more traffic to our core business. Our task is to offer maximum choice, staying within X5, and we will do this with Okolo aggregator, which we announced, but we will launch the app mid-November, and we have a lot of vested hopes with that. And as to Perekrestok Vprok, today this is an online hypermarket with the wide non-food assortment. We understand that to compete successfully inside Perekrestok Vprok, we have to cover adjacent needs. What it means to us is that Perekrestok Vprok will transform into an FMCG marketplace, and Leonid Dovladbegyan will cover this in detail. This is an important step forward, which creates new horizons, new scale for this segment. And another thing about the core business, everything that is shown in orange in the slide. This is why we are creating this infrastructure. We are attracting customers to our core business, and this is the main task of working on all stages of the customer journey. Understandably, now we will see the portfolio of businesses. Each of them is communicating with the clients, and our task is to make sure that these communications are not built from scratch. We want a single unified approach and a single login for all of our services. This is why we are creating X5 ID as a single platform. On the one hand, it is a single authorization center for all of our apps, and for the clients, on the other, it is a way to offer different services in different channels and to put together all the customers that are using X5 services. And this will also come with a subscription that we are planning to launch next year. And the last important thing, it's also very important that the customer would stay within our services, within the perimeter of our services. Any payment, any purchase is connected with payment, so creating a payment service is another task for the next strategic horizon. And further, I would like to move on to the second important priority, leadership in digital transformation. And being the leader in digitalization is key. It's not just about the technologies creating additional opportunities. There is yet another important aspect is that the industry of retail is going digital really fast. And when the industry, any industry goes digital, the barriers go down and the speed increases. And the question is how effective the incumbent players are. So we want to improve our internal efficiency, which will be boosted by our digital transformation. We expect a 20 billion ruble effect from the digital initiatives, and we are going to keep a similar profitability and keep our promises to the shareholders despite investing in our development. I would like to show to you the video which covers what we do.
Digital transformation has become one of X5's key priorities. This is about much more than just process automation. It is about developing a new approach to managing the business that will help us achieve new levels of efficiency underpinned by cutting-edge technologies. To navigate the road ahead, we established a digital maturity index with digital transformation goals for each business unit or function. We identified 11 initiatives that we expect to have the biggest financial impact, and over 100 other projects to be carried out as part of X5's digital transformation. We have changed our approach from working on digital projects to digital products, each of which has a product owner and a dedicated team. To improve our team's technical competencies, X5 Retail Group launched its own Digital Academy, a corporate education platform that will become one of the largest digitalization-focused educational projects in Russia. Here you can see a map of X5's key digital transformation initiatives. Prices and assortment used to be determined by managers based on a limited amount of data. Now, all category managers operate within a unified system where pricing is based on big data, competitor monitoring and purchasing power dynamics. Our assortment focuses on the most popular and commercially attractive products. Promos are selected based on historical data and effectiveness rankings. In the past, we planned all logistics operations manually. Now we have a unified logistics platform that schedules 98% of runs and coordinates 7,955 drivers. Store directors used to spend most of their time in front of a computer, receiving tasks via email and distributing them to their teams. Store management required manual data collection from a number of charts. Now, the most relevant tasks are transmitted via a mobile assistant, which enables the store director to work and receive important updates while on the selling floor. Feedback channels previously did not make it possible for customer opinions to be factored into our work. Now we have a unified platform to process customer queries across various channels, including digital. This has enabled us to see our business from a customer's perspective and use feedback to enhance business processes. 2020 achievements. We launched over 30 digital products. 90% of price and assortment decisions are made by a machine. Customer opinions are factored into our key decision-making processes. Our successful digital transformation will help X5 to establish itself as a technology leader in global retail. This is the main goal of our new strategy to 2023. We're looking forward to new challenges to face. X5 is the industry's digitalization leader. Artificial intelligence is used in business decision-making. The company builds teams using agile methods. X5 is increasingly employing DevOps principles to speed up the development of services. We're implementing the latest information security principles without hampering the speed and flexibility of internal processes. X5 is working to further improve its business models and processes, introduce digital technologies to all of its operations, reach its financial goals for digital transformation, and ensure continuous development of its employees' potential.
Yes, and here in this slide you can also see the digitalization index, which is 50%, and I will explain somewhat later what exactly it means. But before that, I would like to cover another important aspect, because digital transformation definitely is about how we communicate with our customers, and here I would like also to show to you what we will look like in the next 3 years in mobile. And our 4 formats will have their own apps, which will incorporate the services, including delivery services, and separately there will be a local aggregator app, which we are going to announce in detail in the very near time. Speaking more about the digitalization index, definitely when we were thinking about digital transformation, we were thinking about the goals. Now we can calculate the level of digitalization for each function and business through a unique methodology. And what's even more important, we can set ourselves goals, and the digitalization goals are part of the KPI. 39 is where we are now, 50 is where we need to get, and this is how we get the 20 billion of effect for our EBITDA that we expect in our strategy. Those were 2 key priorities, but there is also something about caring for the community and social goals. Thank you, Vladimir. In December 2019, the X5 Supervisory Board approved ESG's long-term sustainable development strategy and specific goals that are set until 2023 that you can see in this slide, and they are included in the new X5 strategy. I'd like to stress that the ESG programs, as well as the volume of necessary investments, are integrated into the strategic programs of our business development, and we would like to show to you a video that reflects the progress made over the past year in key areas of sustainable development of X5.
X5 is committed to sustainable development, and we share the values and goals that are held by all. Caring for communities and protecting the environment are just as important for us as financial and operating targets. We are focused on 4 goals: health, communities, employees, and our planet. To achieve the health goal, we contribute to better living standards by implementing new technologies and giving consumers access to affordable products in modern retail formats. Together with our suppliers, we monitor compliance with all product safety and quality requirements. We promote good health and well-being by increasing the share of fruit, vegetables, and healthy products in our stores. The health and safety of our employees and customers are our top priorities. Activities impact a huge number of people. We are committed to social investments and charity. More than a year ago, our stores joined forces with the Center to Search for Missing People and the LISA Alert Search and Rescue Team to assist people who are lost or disoriented. We strive to ensure food is affordable for all and provide food aid to those in need. As part of the Basket of Kindness project implemented together with Food Bank Rus, we have distributed 466 tons of food to families in need. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, X5 has provided 8,600 food sets to the elderly across the country. We have reduced our markup on socially important products to 0 and delivered free tea sets and food to hospitals and laboratories.
This spring, we launched a hotline to provide free delivery of food and medications to pensioners. We are conscious of our environmental footprint and contribute to achieving the global goal of responsible consumption and use of resources. X5 is among the market leaders in terms of greenhouse gas emissions per square meter. We are investing in energy-efficient technologies, and we operate a fleet of modern trucks. X5 is committed to maximizing recycling to reduce the amount of waste sent to landfills. We transfer food products that become unsaleable before the expiry date to farmers for recycling. We transfer our waste for recycling and promote the circular economy. X5 encourages suppliers to use environmentally friendly packaging and works to create a sustainable supply chain. We are committed to decent working conditions and equal opportunities for all our employees. Our care for customers, employees, and the environment, along with our conscious contribution to advancing the global sustainability agenda, help drive X5's value creation. But above all, they are a natural consequence of our maturity as a business and our social responsibility.
And now I would like to give the floor to Svetlana Demyashkevich to speak about our financial results as well as our focus. Thank you, Igor. You know what? I was listening to you and I was recalling London last year and great dinner. Unfortunately, today we're not going to have any of that, but we still wanted you to feel our drive, energy, our warmth, which is also reflected in our new strategy. And as to the presentation, I would like to start with a brief overview of the market we operate in. And the Russian grocery retail market still has significant headroom for development and consolidation potential, especially for major players like X5, and we expect that this market will come to 16.7 trillion rubles in 2020 in the turnover, and X5 is going to remain the largest food retailer in Russia by revenue and market share. And according to our estimates, X5 market share is 13%. At the beginning of the year, it was 11.5%. We were surprised by this, and we have grown by 1.5%. And the market remains highly fragmented. Today, the market share of the top 5 players is about 29%, while that of the top 10 players is only 33%. In 50-60% of cases, our new stores are replacing smaller ones, and we see that in 50-60% of the cases, we are taking over the premises of smaller retailers.
In addition to retaining its leading position in the moderately growing offline retail segment, X5 is also building a presence in the fast-growing segment of online food. We estimate that in 2020, the turnover of the Russian online food retailer will reach approximately 145 billion rubles, up from 43 billion in 2019. Since April 2020, X5 has been a leader in this segment, showing 320% year-on-year growth in total online sales, which is 267 times higher than the growth rate on the offline market. Further on, I'll share our view on the development of the market segments. Offline retail will remain to be a dominant market segment in the coming years. We agree with the assessment of Info Online Agency, according to which by 2023 the offline food retail market will grow by approximately 20%. And we believe there will be quite rapid development and growth for hard discounters headquarters, and as well Vladimir told you, we have already launched our pilot here. We also realize that the penetration level of modern retail chains will continue to grow, and by 2023 the penetration will make up some 80%. Now it's 76, and by 2023 the retail market will grow by approximately 20%. In online, by 2023 the growth will make up 4 times, and online retail market will reach 600 billion rubles mark. And express delivery will grow the fastest along with online hypermarkets. Now I'm going to briefly speak about macroeconomic trends. We have been working in Russia for 25 years now, and we just treat macro things as something that should not stand in the way of our work. But if you look at the 2020-2021 picture, I think it will be quite a positive scenario, given we saw it in how we saw it in March, April. The appreciation of dollar is not impacting us much. We understand that the inflation rate into the food market we have now of 3-4% is positive to us. It provides us some flexibility in pricing, and it does not affect the customer profits. But in terms of customer incomes, there will be some decline in those growth, and that decline will be addressed probably next year. And major Russian companies expect that nominal wages and salaries will grow by 6-7%. And as for the 2021 outlook, there remains uncertainty about the future dynamics of the main trend in 2020, in which HoReCa and restrictive measures imposed amid the pandemic affected the performance of food retailers. We see stagnation risk in the food retail market in 2021, but according to our baseline scenario, the market will grow at a rate of food inflation, which could reach 3-4%. Before discussing our performance and our forecast for 2021, I would like to draw your attention to the dynamics of X5 share price over the last 2 years as compared to the dynamics of the Russian stock and consumer sector securities market. As you can see here, over the past 2 years, our total shareholder return has grown much more than the average rates for both the domestic markets in general and the retail sector in particular. So we think that a return of 91% in dollar terms is quite impressive, and we would like to thank you in assisting us in achieving that performance. We believe that the trend will continue, and as we implement this strategy until 2023, we are confident that we will produce same dynamics as far as the shareholder return is concerned. I will move now on to an overview of our key results for the 9 months of 2020. The company's revenue grew by 14.6%, exceeding the plan for this year, driven by strong market demand in the neighborhood store format and our continued efforts to expand our retail space. Comparable sales increased by like-for-like increased by 5.6%, despite despite 5.5% decline in comparable traffic. And despite the competition, the growth of comparable or like-for-like X5 sales remain high, with 6.9 growth in Q3, while comparable basket growth contributed 8.8% to last quarter's result, and comparable traffic growth maintained a slight negative trend of minus 1.8%. But we managed to maintain same kind of relations with our supporters and EBITDA for 9 months of 2020 totaled 112.5 billion rubles, up 20% year-on-year. EBITDA margin was up 35 basic points year-on-year to nearly 8%, driven by higher gross margin and low cost share as a percentage of revenue. We expect that our digital transformation projects, as well as efficiency improvement projects, will add to the positive EBITDA. Vladimir spoke of cumulative effect of the transformation, but I will say that even now we are getting some revenues of 8 billion rubles, and such project as Svetlana contributes to that. Put together, it helped us to increase our market capitalization up 45% year-on-year. And as I said, we are confident that the indicator will grow further. A number of slides now, which will make you more comfortable in terms of our plans for the future, in terms of how we are going to maintain our margins and return on equity. Here is the dynamics of the revenues breakdown. You can see that the Pyaterochka, the most profitable format, is the share is growing. Now the least profitable formats, hypermarkets, is shrinking. We have taken a decision on the transformation of carousel. New formats, Perekrestok, Vprok, X5 Post, will produce positive EBITDA in the next year, according to our plans. Now I'm going to tell you how we are going to open new stores and what ROIC we may have here. Here we think we will have return on investment in which will be not less than 30%, while the benchmark for us is 19%. It is true about both Pyaterochka and Perekrestok, and no matter where they are located in the capital or in the regions. Nearly half of the stores which were open of last year are located at a distance of 500 meters from each other in average, but we still hope that they will produce positive results. Despite some traffic cannibalization, we see some better dynamics, better productivity, and we always see a greater density of sales, and it makes up for the cannibalization of these stores located at a distance of 500 meters. And break-even time for those new stores are not changed. It's 4-5 months for Pyaterochka and 6-4 months for Perekrestok supermarkets. Here in the graph you can see another important indicator, and it's stores in clinic. Those are the stores which underperform in terms of EBITDA, and we are taking measures to restore the situation. This share of such stores is continuing to become less. And, it's also important to say that there is a relationship between a greater market and greater presence in the regions and the yields, the returns of the regions. Well, in those regions with our presence above 10%, we can see better, both better margin, better EBITDA, return on capital. Only 17 percentage points of municipalities where we have more than 25%, and which work, and we see restrictions on the part of the Federal Antitrust Agency. In Moscow, the share is 14 to 15%, so a lot can be. There is a great room to grow to reach 25%. Our dynamic is that we add another percent year on year. Here is the capex structure breakdown over the past 9 months. The total capex has grown 12% year over year, and the renovation and upgrade of stores is the greatest share. So 50% of capex spent for new stores to open, 11 for renovation, maintenance, and only 7% is spent on IT, despite the fact that we invest heavily in EBITDA and online businesses. IT expenses breakdown shows us that 4 billion rubles were invested into the projects on digital transformation, and the return rate is 143%. It's much higher than the if compared with other projects of high performance. In conclusion, I'd like to dwell on the current performance, our plans for the remaining months of 2020 and for 2021. In October, we continue showing quite high growth. The revenues 13.8%, like-for-like 5.5% growth, and trading up effect is still there. Average basket is growing, and also online services share is growing quite fast. Now it's 0.8% in terms of revenue. Our outlook for 2021, of course, we have already accustomed to be operating in a very rapidly changing situation, and we expect that next year we will show same rate of new stores and upgrades, relying on the best formats and concepts we have now. We can maintain and even increase the rate of margins and return on capital margin, and our expectations remain to be the same. We're making place to pay quite liberal dividends. Last year we paid 30 billion rubles in dividends. We think that we can increase this amount by at least 1.5 times this year. So the midterm financial goals are planned together with the strategy. What is important for us here? First of all, we fully realize that we have been showing very good growth, and we expect it to be in excess of 10% annually. We can very well maintain and even increase our EBITDA margin, and we are going to maintain and even exceed the 7% level. And at the same time, We're evolving as a digital company. We're investing heavily in new businesses on a smart basis, and we are doing that not impacting our main businesses, main core business. We keep on paying liberal dividends, and we are going to increase the amounts of dividends both in ruble and dollar terms, and it will be supported by our free operating cash flow. That brings me to the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for your patience. Now it's Q&A time. Thank you, Igor, thank you, Vladimir, and now it's Q&A time. To moderate Q&A session, given the fact that we have a lot of participants, Yuri will assist me in that. I will start with the first question, which is addressed to Igor, I think. It has to do with the growth strategy. So, what factors will be the drivers of the further growth of business in the next 3 to 5 years, with due regard to the slowdown in the retail spaces? And thank you very much for this question. As was pointed out here, by 2023, the goal is to have not less than 15% of the Russian food retail market. We believe the objective is quite feasible. And even more, by 1929, we think that our share could be not less than 20%. It can be achieved through the organic growth, through a greater density of sales, and with the help of new formats. Express delivery is a digital service, but it may be used as a service to attract new customers. And Pyaterochka-based delivery service shows us that 50% of the customers are new customers. So aggregator capability will also be our new factor. And X5 Post service will also be a new attractant of new customers. As for the growth factors, Svetlana has already told us about that, and the rate will be not less than 10% of growth on annual basis. Like-for-like growth is to be continuous, and thanks to Pyaterochka and Perekrestok dynamics, we have every opportunity to achieve that. And Vlad and Sergei is going to speak of some more concepts to help it later on. We expect we will have great opportunities because of the consolidation of the sector, and we will see how least efficient players will leave the market. Svetlana, you has said a lot about your dividend policy, but still, what's the outlook for 2020 dividends, given the strong performance this year? Will you give us more details? And you can see that we are above the target in that, in terms of margin, in terms of returns. And it's true that the amount of or debt to EBITDA ratio is in the range of 1.5. In our case, we try to target the indicator of 1.8 to 2. Now it is 1.5, so we have a lot of room for maneuver. And our outlook is that the amount of dividends will increase, it will exceed the amount of the last year by 1.5 times. Question to you. Can we estimate the impact on business from our own operations and those of competitors? Of course, it's a good question, and the digital infrastructure is being built in order to impact positively on our core business, and we can see how fast the environment is changing, and the systemic digital companies appear in the market with their range of services, and actually we are going to join the race, and so our target is to meet the customer at the beginning of its journey and accompany a customer all through the journey. And the ultimate objective is not only to retain the existing customers inside our boundaries, but to attract more, to attract new. And all our services are aimed at enhancing our core businesses, and we expect a positive effect on that, and the development of digital businesses provides us positive dynamics with that.
Thank you, Vladimir. And the next question probably is for you, Igor. It's about the KPIs. It's about short-term and long-term goals. We said that we are going to announce them in March next year. But what are the STI metrics now, and what they will be for the next year? Let's speak about the LTI, which is expiring at the end of this year. It is leadership in revenue and in the multiple, and we have two triggers. When for the net debt to EBITDA, and the program is going to be approved by the advisory board, but the multiple will remain one of the key metrics for the new LTI. And on top of that, there will also be the ESG metric, and there will be yet another one. And so in December, we will have the same triggers, that is EBITDA and net debt to EBITDA. As to STI for this year, the short-term incentive program includes financial and non-financial metrics. 50% are financial, and for example, that includes ROI, and this is important for investors. And one of the non-financial ones is NPS, and like-for-like is also one of the metrics for our short-term incentives program. Thank you, Vladimir. Probably the next question is to you about the hard discounters. The colleagues are asking, what do you think about the cannibalization that is possible between Zizek and Pyaterochka? And what do you think about the price differentiation? What could be the price differentiation between the formats? Yes, thank you for the question, colleagues. And we showed in our presentation in a separate slide very clearly how we differentiate our hard discounter Zizek. Now we can give it the name, how it is different from Pyaterochka and Perekrestok. And this is going to be the best price offering. As to cannibalization, colleagues, here the answer is quite simple. Currently, the customers go on average to 5-6 stores, especially in metropolitan cities. Most of the time, they cover the different stores, and by covering a larger segment base, we are covering a larger customer base too. And so Zizek should increase the client base of X5. Thank you, Vladimir. Svetlana, the next question is to you. It is about COVID. What is the volume of additional expenses for the company that it had to incur starting from the beginning of the year, and what do you expect till the end of the year around COVID? We believe it is around 4 billion rubles. Primarily, it was for the PPE devices, the masks, masks and the gloves that are used in the stores, DCs and offices, as well as disinfection and additional security. And this is what we started spending money on in March, and we will continue doing this till the end of the year. And this is our priority, to ensure our guests' safety. And as you can see from the overall results, the overall effect of COVID on this year is positive, despite the expenses we had. And probably the question is to Vladimir and probably also to Igor, since there are constraints because of the pandemic. Perekrestok and Pyaterochka, since they are broadly present and they have express delivery, they were able to attract a lot of new customers. What are the chances to turn those new customers into loyal customers and to retain them? I could start and Vladimir could continue. I believe that we have very good chances, and we see from the numbers that the new clients that we saw in spring and in express delivery, we saw a lot of new clients. They stay with us and become our loyal customers because they like the CVP of our existing formats. They like the concepts, the new concepts of Perekrestok and Pyaterochka, and our task is to retain them within our perimeter. And the implementation of our strategy will enable us to provide all the necessary services to all of our clients. Probably Vladimir could add something here. And I believe the CEO was able to cover this because they offer the service that is very relevant. 80% of those who tried the service out stay with us, and most of the people who joined us during the pandemic are staying with us. Okay, thank you, Svetlana. There are two questions to you. You have covered it a little bit, but probably you have to repeat it. What are the results for October? Probably somebody missed it. And also, what factors drive the higher sales density in the regions where we have a higher market share? I don't know which is the chicken, which is the egg. Probably you could provide more color on that. Okay, probably I could cover that in more detail. So the results for October, so the turnover increased 13.1, revenue 13.8, like-for-like 3.5%, and this was done primarily through the increase in the basket. We still see trading up, and the shelf inflation is 3.8%. We also see people coming to us from the HoReCa segment, and we believe that this trend will continue into the rest of the year. And the growth in online, we see acceleration there, and we see that the share of our online services already stands at not 8%. There was also the question about why in the regions where our share is more than 10%, how can we show higher margins and high return on capital? And this is the scales effect. We can calculate it. It is about more optimal logistics. And once the store base increases and we go to more than 10% in the region, it's also about higher productivity of our personnel. All of those things are measurable, and we do understand also that in the regions where we have been present for a longer time, we have more experienced teams who have a better knowledge of the local guests, and they can better encounter or accommodate the needs of the local guests. This drives the sales in those regions. Thank you, Svetlana. Svetlana. And the next question is to both Vladimir and Svetlana, because Vladimir started speaking on that, and Svetlana then continued the 20 billion rubles that you are planning to add to your EBITDA from the digital initiatives. What will drive that? This will be the total effect that we will get from the projects of digital transformation that are currently implemented. I will just quote a few of those, and they were mentioned in our presentation. They include a different approach to pricing, and right now 90% of the pricing is done by an algorithm, not a person. It is also about shaping the assortment of a store, which includes the preferences and expectations of the customers. And the second, the financial effect we get from a certain product. Then a significant automation of our stores. And today, Igor, the CEO, mentioned the self-service cash registers, and now they do 25% of all the checkouts, which means the store employees can work more with the shelves or with the customers, and this creates a positive effect. All of these projects are part of a single digital program for X5, and this is the effect we expect to see. And for many projects within the digital transformation program, the effect is even more ambitious, but 20 billion is the figure that we are to confirm based on the pilots. I'm going to speak more about the feedback project. It will be covered further by the heads of the format. We get faster feedback from our customers and respond faster to their needs through changes in the assortment, which drives sales from a square meter, and also improving commercial margin. You can see it in the numbers. If I could add a few financial metrics here. And as I said before, the return on investments for the digital transformation projects, it's 43%. As you remember, the stores generate around 30, and the minimum for us is 19% in ROI. And how do we make sure that they are so profitable? We have the system for measuring those effects, and when the project gets financing, we have very clearly set criteria of success and particular metrics to follow those effects. Then we run the pilots about which we agree at the start, during which period, in which region, in which stores. Then we measure the effect, and this is done independently by big data and risks teams. Then we confirm that we see the effects, and then only they become part of the budget. When we are talking about investments in CapEx, you can see increased investments in IT. 80% of those investments are for the internal automation, which creates these processes. It's about optimizing our base processes, and this is a gold mine. And this is about how we can make our processes more modern and more efficient. And a mere 20% are investments into our new online businesses. In total, those are not huge amounts, but the impact on the market is huge. Starting from April, we have been #1 in e-grocery in Russia, although the total investments are not so high. Speaking about the prospects, we see huge potential in the project that we are currently doing. This is customer value management. We do it at both Pyaterochka and Perekrestok. As the result of this project, we can communicate individually with our customers, avoiding massive promo campaigns, and we will be able to decrease the share of promo campaigns and communicate with our customers individually, and it should drive both the commercial margin and the EBITDA. Thank you very much, Svetlana, Vladimir, Igor. Igor, probably again the question is to you. Based on the results of 2020, what adjustments were made to the strategy of the company? The trends that we saw in the Russian market, they are related to the changes in customer priorities and preferences, and the pandemic showed that the customers focus more on healthy lifestyles and security. It's about the recession, and we understand that the price is becoming the main and very important factor for our customers. It's the explosive growth in digital channels, and this was driven by the pandemic, and I'm happy that last year we created the right platform for the fast growth of express delivery. All of this is at the base of our strategy. And a short question, we have partially touched upon that. Svetlana, probably you could cover that. The capex for 2021, 2023, or probably just what you said within your presentation. I believe that we are going to invest in the areas where we see the effect. We do that cautiously, and I would say that we're doing this in a well-thought manner, and we see opportunities in renovating our stores, the market consolidation. We see the payback from the new concept of the stores, and like-for-like is up to 10% in the new concept of Pyaterochka, and the NPS is also higher. We are going to continue investing in these areas, but we believe that capex definitely is not going to outgrow our revenue, and we do understand how we can manage this increase in capex. At the beginning of the year, when the situation changed, we were able to undertake measures to roll in the capex, and this is why we can pay a higher dividends for this year. Thank you very much, colleagues, and I suggest that we stick to the plan. Let's have the last question in this round of Q&A. Svetlana, probably again a question to you. How does the company distribute the capital? Are you looking at the possible increase of dividend payout by 50%? Do you view it as a sustainable trend? We believe that midterm, every year, we are going to see the higher absolute amount of dividends, both in rubles and in dollars. We are going to keep the debt to a bit under 2 times, and we see already now that with the growth of our businesses and the improvement of the structure in terms of profitability of our business, we are definitely going to see more opportunities for the free operating cash flow, which will enable us to pay more dividends. Zizek is creating a lot of questions. Vladimir, probably you can add some granularity here. People are asking you whether those Zizek stores are going to be close to Pyaterochka, which towns, cities, regions you are considering for the beginning, what are the other high discounters in Russia, and how are we going to be positioned against those? Dear colleagues, I will try to answer some of the questions because there are a lot of questions asked. So what I need to say, I will start with the last question. Are there any other hard discounters in Russia? Yes, but we believe that none of them is the model that we will use in Chizhik, because Chizhik is, on the one hand, the store for low prices. On the other hand, it is about a high share of private label of a very decent quality. So here you cannot compare us to the other players who are using the promo model, offering different products at lower prices. But nevertheless, I'd like to repeat that the core of the value proposition will be an attractive price. As to the geographic footprint, during this year, the stores will be launched in Moscow and the nearby areas around Moscow, New Moscow or Moscow region. Then next year, we are planning to go to a few regions. So far, I'm not going to give you the details because it is still under discussion. But when we discuss the development of this chain, we believe that it is quite logical for them to have federal coverage. It can be a big one comparable to our current formats. And in case there is a successful pilot and fine-tuning the model, this is the way to go. And then Vladimir has already said that next year we are planning to open 45 pilot Chizhik stores, and at the end of next year we'll have the full understanding of the model and how we will roll this out starting from 2022. We also expect relatively small capex for openings, and the OPEX will be rather low too, which in terms of return on capital will make this model quite attractive. As to the private label, the strategy we are going to use in Chizhik is that the quality of our private label in each of the categories will be in line with the branded products, and the price will be 15% lower. And the last question probably is for our CEO. What is the status of the hypermarket transformation program? We are speaking much about the new format, but we are still also transforming one of the old formats.
Thank you very much for the question. Since this year, 74 carousel hypermarkets were transformed, converted into Perekrestok. 7 were closed and 1 was sold out. And we're going to maintain our operating management over those hypermarkets until 2022, and further on, the management board and us are going to make the final decision. With that, I would like to thank the speakers of the first part of the Investor Day. It's not the end, rather it will be a 15-minute break, so we will reconvene at 5:55. In 15 minutes, in other words.
Спасибо.
So, again, we are on air after a short break. It's our second part of the presentations, which I'm confident are going to be not less interesting than before. And Pyaterochka, Perekrestok, business unit, Vprok, 5 post heads, CEOs are going to make their presentations. We start with the head of the Pyaterochka chain. Here's Sergei Goncharov. Sergei, the floor is yours. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to tell you about the successes and plans of the team. A year ago, we presented you with the renewed CVP, and we achieved success in every element of that. The priority, which is the continuous systemic improvements in our stores, which are known to every customer, well underway. The logistic chain streamlining is also our priority. They are parts of the true priority, which is to win the confidence and trust of our guests, to be a company they can rely on. The sales and margins indicators will be the manifestation of the trust. How can we win the trust? Through the continuous systemic improvements. Well, our staff, our employees must be confident that they are employed by the best employers. The convenience of proximity stores are better suited to the current situation compared with traditional formats. Pyaterochka, some customers with average income was avoided by a number of customers, even following the recent upgrade. It was not trusted. However, during the lockdown, when for many people visit of a store became the only option to go out, a lot of new customers were attracted by Pyaterochka, and they saw that Pyaterochka was a good store, and it's not because of traded down, it's because of its radical change or repositioning of its status. 14,000 stores of Pyaterochka receive dozens of thousands of shoppers. In more than 1,100 of such stores, we have bakeries, which is a new concept, and both a teenager and adult feel comfortable in such stores, no matter what income they have. Now, I would like to turn to the outstanding performance which we have achieved over the past several years. Pyaterochka is the biggest federal chain in terms of revenues in food retail segment. More and more Russians like our stores. Over the past 2 years, the trust has risen 9%. Now it is on the all-time high. The launch of the goods rating through an application helped us to improve our feedback, and 6 million people or 6 million responses we have every month. Earlier, an employee was a source of a problem and an opportunity to reduce cost. Now our employees are front office workers, and following the upgrades, the auxiliary rooms in stores were improved. We have streamlined our policy in enrolling and hiring people, and politeness is on the rise. The turnover, the rotation of the staff has reduced 2 times. Labor productivity rose 8%. Advantage International Consulting Company estimated us as the third on the top 3 major retail chains in Russia. Pyaterochka is responsible for 80% of all the consolidated sales in X5 Group and the main driver of profitability and growth in the company. Like for like, over 8 months, made up 6.9%. It's high dynamics in a very hard environment because of the pandemic. The overall situation with the food retail dropped by 9% compared with the last year. Now, the Pyaterochka format has advantages compared with other formats, but we keep on introducing some innovations. Over the past 2 years, according to ICSIS, we have improved Pyaterochka's position against every of 10 priority criteria which we have outlined and defined while making up our value proposition. On the slide, you can see that specifically it's true about 3 indicators. Online accessibility, and because of that launch of the online delivery, we supported our shoppers during the pandemic, and that's something that we're going to capitalize on. Politeness is number 2, and I think that we have achieved great results here. And quality and freshness is another criteria where we are among the leaders. On the slide, you can see also the indicator of the reduction in shrinkage. We have neared to the best retail chains in those senses, and we maintained our high position in terms of price versus quality. Now, consumers recognize that the Pyaterochka chain is among the leaders in terms of the care of the community. We are promoting our value initiatives. Pandemic for Pyaterochka was a challenge. Now we are confident that we made use of this situation in order to strengthen our leadership. According to the BIS together with Vladimir, Pyaterochka was recognized the best brand by customers in the times of the first wave of a pandemic, not only among local brands, but among the international majors such as KFC, McDonald's, Sberbank. Since the time when the program of upgrade was launched, Pyaterochka opened about 300 new stores and upgraded, refurbished about 591. So it's not only the changes in the appearance of stores, rather the aim was to improve the customer experience, and now we can see that NPS here in a new concept is 1.5 higher than in the previous format. We can also see, based on the loyalty cards, that a new concept of Pyaterochka is more attractive for younger people, and the share of under 25 of age people make up some 13%. Like-for-like rates of growth is in excess of 10% following the refurbishment. EBITDA in new concept is also higher than that of the past, the oldest stores, and capex is nearly the same. We keep on introducing changes in order to reduce capex, but not at the expense of the concept. And also, we are trying to improve the customer experience through different methods. And the concept is something that is going to be improved on in a number of ways. It depends on the region specificity, locality of a store, customer requirements, and visually our guests will see same attractive appearances of a new brand. We are very happy with the performance of the new concept stores. All new stores are going to open and refurbishment will also follow that new format. And besides, we can say with confidence that those stores are among the world leaders. In Filovskaya Street, the store is on the top 30 stores of the kind in the world. And so it's not a domestic but international recognition. This slide tells us what we do in order to ensure the long-term leadership of Pyaterochka in terms of convenience. We are improving the convenience both in stores but also through the applications. We have managed to reduce the time of waiting in lines by 26% year-over-year. And our guests really would like to take advantage of all those capabilities. According to the estimate, the increase in traffic made up some 7% through the quicker cash registration. The pilot pickup points provide for additional services as pre-check, returns, and stores with pickup points have higher traffic by 2 to 4%. And the new concept of Pyaterochka is the follow-up of the convenience store concept. We will continue expanding the service geography based on the existing chain, and we will open more stores in the regions where we see demand. We will reduce the time of servicing, reduce the lead time through the streamlining of all the processes, both in store and on delivery. Well, you may ask me how many people, how many resources we need in order to cover all the gaps in delivery. In Moscow, in 155 stores, we provide services for all families living in Moscow. And it's very encouraging that 60% of users of express delivery are not among our loyal customers. And this is they are new, unique guests who can later on turn into our loyal customers. And for loyal customers, it's a common thing to visit our stores, and it's not because of the lack of cannibalization. Since the time we launched the format, we saw some 130,000 new customers using the service. In Chelyabinsk, who became city number 13 of our presence, we saw those processes. Speaking of feedback, I would emphasize the X5 mobile application. 23 million downloads, 6 million monthly users, and we are learning how to hear and listen to our customers. We work in social media, we analyze feedback, we we cover all the responses, and that helps us to identify bottlenecks, problems, and compare ourselves with competitors. Speaking of the convenient food assortment, then the share of ready-to-eat products has grown 10 times, and we try to offer those products at affordable prices. We keep pace together with leading producers and also take advantage of our own kitchen. And we make plans to provide the bulk of all the products from the kitchen. Bakeries, coffee machines are installed in many of our stores. I would like you to see a short video on the back feedback.
Typical store or service. In a competitive environment, People choose companies that understand and meet his or her needs. This is why we launched a large-scale feedback program in late 2019. Our aim is to put our guests' input at the center of decision-making on creating, refining, and changing processes and products at our company. In just 9 months, we built an interactive system that makes it easy for our guests to contact us and get a response. In turn, employees can easily process, analyze, and use feedback. The program includes 4 key areas. First, communication channels. New ones are being introduced while existing channels are being refined. In total, we have 23 separate channels that we manage via a single omni-channel platform. This enables us to store the entire history of guest requests. Second, we offer instant responses and prompt solutions to our guests' questions. Third, we are improving our business processes. Our guests' inputs directly affect changes in the company. Fourth, we have optimized the way we process feedback. A trouble ticket solution system has already been launched, which allocates tasks based on the guest's request to internal or external respondents. In total, 19 IT solutions have been developed and launched from scratch, and by the end of 2020, we will implement 9 more products. We can safely say that the new tools are in demand among our guests and are profitable for the company. A quick solution or refund leads to lower churn and growth of a guest's LTV. We will continue to develop each of the 4 areas, launching solutions that are unique to the market and are based on a product approach. This means that each of the IT products developed and implemented at one format can be scaled for other X5 formats. We adapt to new conditions through internal teams, which builds their high value and potential. The feedback program is a solid foundation for future customer experience transformation.
So freshness and quality. To ensure both freshness and quality, I want to tell you about the initiatives that we launched in the past 18 months. The global experience shows that the level of freshness is one of the decision-making factors when the customers choose a store. And if the customers are happy with the freshness of the products, they spend 25% more on fresh products, and they come to the store 9% more often. And we are targeting that the share of the customers who believe that Pyaterochka sells fresh and high-quality products from 31% in 2020 to 55% in 2023. We are scaling up the freshness project, and starting from the beginning of the project, we were able to improve the perception of freshness by 14 points. All of our processes, from buying from the supplier to storing and delivery, should exclude any loss in freshness. And we are actively developing the private label, and we expect that the share of our private label will come to 18% in 2020. And our plan is to increase it further to 28% in 2023. And right now we are talking to the suppliers to improve the quality and the variety of the products that are offered for private label. The rating of the private label is defined by the buyers. Now every guest can select themselves what will be on the shelves of their store. And the key projects for private label are digital, the life cycle of the products and the portal of the suppliers, the feedback, the rating of the products, as well as quality assurance, tasting kitchen, as well as the depository of the samples of the products, as well as introducing the processes for regular quality assurance, caring for the community. And this is the key pillar of our CVP. We are developing social and charitable programs. And we ensure the sense of security in our stores, making sure that after people visit our stores, they feel better, primarily through increasing the friendliness of our employees. And Pyaterochka is the biggest retailer in Russia. At the same time, is trying to become local. And we have two tasks: caring for each and every customer and caring about the community. And the chain is working on the initiatives in three areas: supporting local communities, the second, promoting healthy lifestyles, and three, rational consumption of resources promotion. And the key initiatives include the basket of kindness. The guests of Pyaterochka stores can buy the products and give them to those who need them. This year alone, we have handed over 100 tons of products. Then the safety island. Over the past year, we were able to help 500 people, and we saved the lives of 15 people. We are doing this together with Lisa Alert, which this year is turning 10. Promoting healthy lifestyles includes expanding health assortment, creating health food corners in stores, and the share of products that get into the healthy lifestyle assortments will increase from 6% in 2020 to 20% in 2023. To promote rational consumption of resources, we use waste management, and half of our private label is using the recycled packaging, and now 94% of all the waste goes to recycling. We are still reducing the shrinkage, the loss ratio, through better algorithms of planning and replenishing the stocks, and also through the freshness project. Pyaterochka is going to further take care of the environment, developing the existing initiatives and offering the new ones. It might seem strange that to ensure low prices, it might seem strange to you, but we really see that the satisfaction of our guests is not reached by only the attractive price, although prices definitely, especially in these challenging times, are an important factor for our guests. So we implement advanced pricing based on big data, automatic accounting, and also automatic accounting for the prices of competitors and purchasing power. We optimize the prices of the products, and we use more personalized offerings than promo campaigns. And in pricing, one of the key areas is using the algorithms of predictive analytics based on big data, which ensures better precision and objectivity. And the pilot project in 700 stores in Moscow and in the Urals demonstrated the higher margins from plus 1%, which is the equivalent of 4 billion rubles with the preserved traffic and turnover. And the key principles for managing pricing include the initiatives like automatic calculation of the pricing, where we start with the guest. We look at the competitive environment and the budget of the family and how much they are ready to spend on food, and the products where the prices are not monitored. We are using other product categories, and we also might adjust the prices sometimes. items, and prices vary by stores depending on the competition, which competitors are present, and the profile of the guests. And promo is still one of the key tools for managing pricing motivation, and we are looking at the strategy for combining massive promo and personalized promo, and we increase the attractiveness of promo for the client, and by 2023 we expect that the promo campaign share will go down below 30%. Our focus is about the accelerated revenue increase in the convenience stores and also supporting the steady profitability. Our strategic priorities are enlisted in this slide. I have already covered them. The key to us definitely is further improvement in the trust level and gaining the loyalty of our guests, but we also focus on innovative solutions based on big data and predictive analytics to improve the quality of pricing, assortment, and promo with a positive effect on revenue and total gross profit. Thank you. Sergei, thank you very much for this contribution. And now we are ready to move on to the presentation of Vladislav Kurbatov, head of Perekrestok, and he is going to be with us using the video, and he will speak to us about Perekrestok. Let me thank you on my own behalf and the Perekrestok team to thank those of you who are the customers of our stores. We are working for you. And I would like to start my presentation with some key figures. This year, we celebrate the 25th anniversary of Perekrestok, and it is still the leader of the supermarket segment with the highest market share, and now more than 900 of our supermarkets are present in many cities of Russia. Over the last 5 years, we have doubled the number of stores, and our revenue increased 2.5 times. Our positive growth in like-for-like sales has also been going on for over 5 years. We manage our stores based on the interests of our customers, employees, and shareholders. The stores that we are offering are about people, for the people, and through people's eyes. The loyalty and satisfaction of our customers is constantly growing, and staff turnover is steadily falling. Despite the challenges posed by the pandemic, we're pleased with the results for the past year, and our plans for the next year remain just as ambitious. Now, I'd like to talk about the key components of our updated CVP, which we introduced a year ago. First of all, it is about emotionally appealing assortment, emphasizing fresh fruits and vegetables, ready-to-eat food, as well as a wide range of healthy food and private label. This assortment allows to make the best choice and satisfy any need, from a brief snack to stocking up or buying for a special event. We are opening open kitchen areas in our stores where customers can buy delicious cooked meals and also see the cooking, hot bread, flat bread from tandoor, pizza, sushi, wok. All of this can be bought on the way home, or it can be eaten right there inside the supermarket shopping hall. An important part of our commercial strategy is localization, that is, offering local products and customizing the assortment at the regional level to better meet the needs and demands of our customers. Price is, especially now, a major selection factor for the buyers. In our stores, customers with very different means can buy food. Here you can find reasonable and fair prices that match the quality of the goods and the level of service. We also offer attractive promotions, and the service is already one one of the key competitive advantages of Perekrestok, and we are planning to strengthen and develop it in the future. Perekrestek's employees are the key factor of leadership in client experience. Trust between a customer and a store is impossible without trust between a store and employees. Therefore, the internal atmosphere and the feedback from our employees is important in Perekrestok. We strive to give our customers not only a nice atmosphere and new emotions, but also convenience. This is why Perekrestok is filled with technological and functional solutions, such as self-service cash registers, scan and go, electronic price tags, or the ability to pay in a mobile app. We launched the delivery service, Perekrestok Bistro, in April this year, when customers needed it the most, and immediately it started growing fast. And now this is available in 9 cities, where we deliver more than 6,000 orders per day. As we do that in 60 minutes. For the convenience of our customers, we continue to develop digital services. In October, we updated our mobile app, My Perekrestok, where the loyalty card and express delivery are in the same app. This is yet another confident step towards Perekrestok becoming more omnichannel. Our updated CVP has a strong focus on sustainable development. We feel responsible for the environment, and we are happy that our customers support our aspirations and take a great interest in environmental issues and social responsibility. Our special focus is on the health and safety of our customers and employees, as well as social and eco-initiatives such as a Safe Store program. It includes providing the stores with antibacterial lamps and PPE, contactless payment methods, as well as a system of quality assurance throughout the supply chain. Our resource management initiatives include plastic collection, container cashback, eco-packaging, eco-consumer education, and the packaging in our stores already consists 35% of recycled material. We participate in socially oriented and charitable programs, such as volunteer food delivery to the elderly and charity within the loyalty program, and store facilities for people with special needs. Since the beginning of 2020, almost all the supermarkets of Perekrestok have been opened in a new concept, and now this is about 10% of the chain. In our opinion, the new concept has made it possible to better take into account modern trends, and we see that this is valued by our guests. The purpose here is not just to give a facelift to a store, but also to improve the customer experience. We see that the customer satisfaction is much higher in the new concept. It is 7 points higher NPS. For a better shopping experience, we have launched a new concept of the atmosphere of pleasure and enjoying. And in the new concept, about half of the sales area is occupied by fresh products, fruits and vegetables, as well as ready-to-eat products, bakery and cafes. We use wide shelves, creating a feeling of a market, and an emphasis is on emotional perception of freshness and quality. We also have a special area with healthy lifestyle products, and this assortment has been extended through our private labels Green Line. All key business indicators of the new CVP are significantly above the network average. Like-for-like revenue in the stores of the new concept is 10% higher. EBITDA is higher than in the previous concept. At the same time, we are constantly working on reducing the capex without losing the attractiveness of the store through the use of simpler but more reliable materials and equipment. Just like our colleagues from Pyaterochka, we are satisfied with the results. Therefore, all the new stores will be opened and renovations will be carried out within a new concept. And ready-to-eat food is something that should differentiate us from our competitors. Here you can buy our own products as well as dishes from famous restaurants and cafes. Our new business unit, X5 Ready-to-Eat, will be a key expert partner of X5 retail chains. We're developing our smart kitchen, expanding the range of dishes, increasing the capacity of the factory, and we are planning to increase the output by 15%. By attracting new partners in the category of ready-to-eat food, we are making our offer even more unique. Cooperation with Novikov Group and other famous brands allowed the restaurant quality dishes to appear on our counters, but next to their homes, we plan to increase the ready-to-eat category from 3.2% this year to 8.5% in 2023. The assortment of healthy lifestyle products and private label is a differentiating factor that distinguishes Perekrestok from other networks. Perekrestok gives an opportunity for a balanced, healthy lifestyle to all the interested customers. We're planning to expand the offering of a private label to almost 3,000 items in 2023, which should account for about 16% of our sales. Today it is 9%. This year we increased the share of private label to 14.5%. The key initiatives include
It includes management of private label portfolio on the basis of customers' feedback, and improve the process of developing new products, including the development of strategic partnership in each category, relaunch of key brands, automation of PL pricing, market leadership in innovative products with a focus on healthy lifestyles. We plan to increase the share of private label to 22% by 2023. Within the product range of private label, we intend to develop products of medium and high price segments, as well as an impairs leadership in perception of private label price quality among competitors. We build our business on trust and confidence. We strive to become human-centric from client-centric company. Most of our solutions are based on feedback from customers, employees, and our partners. The NPS of Perekrestok has gained 44 points in the last 5 years, including 7 points in the last year, and reached 28%. We see an increase in the involvement of our staff, and as a result, the politeness perception of customers in our stores is growing. Shrinkages are reducing and productivity is improving. Our eNPS, Employee Satisfaction Index, increased 2.8 times last year, up to 54%. According to the result of the annual producer survey conducted by the Advantage International Consulting Company, Perekrestok was for the first time named the best partner for suppliers among 15 largest food chains in Russia. And to maintain this trust is our priority. The Perekrestok continues to constantly analyze the needs and moods of customers. With our updated product feedback, we are moving from collection of feedback to full management of customer experience through system creation, where the process starts with feedback and ends with specific changes. Through smarter feedback, we improve the knowledge base about the customers. To date, we have already received more than 2 million requests and evaluations from customers. We continuously carry out digital transformation of feedback, its automation, launch charts and messengers, the ability to evaluate the goods in a mobile application. New approaches and technologies have increased the speed of response. Now it takes from 3 minutes to 24 hours to respond to customer requests. And only recently, unfortunately, we answered only in a few days. More than 285,000 product evaluations from our customers have been received in a mobile application this year, and more than 1,000 product quality improvements have already been implemented based on customer feedback. The average product score today is 4.7, with 83% of customers achieving the highest score of 5. Due to the work with customer feedback, the number of complaints about the quality of service has decreased by 38%. We want our customers to see that we hear their opinion and are constantly changing for the better. By 2023, our goal is for at least 60% of customers to agree with the statement that Perekrestok responds to customer complaints and promptly takes them into account. As I already noted, Perekrestek's employees are the key factor of leadership in client experience. We want Perekrestok to be a convenient and reliable place for our employees. With a 20 percentage point year-on-year decrease in turnover, we show a 15% increase in productivity, which has a positive impact on the level of service and EBITDA in our stores. These are our key initiatives aimed at increasing staff involvement. We are implementing an in-store workforce planning and management system as well as an employee mobile workstation, a program that will allow us to more efficiently manage the time and workload of retail employees and specify the task of each employee in store. For the convenience of store employees, a new format office space has been introduced, more convenient, more with pleasant design, new format of canteen and locker rooms and for staff. We are constantly improving the operational processes in stores. One example is planogram generator, individual planograms at the store level, taking into account the turnover of inventory. The program has already been launched in Moscow stores, and in 2021 we will launch it in the entire network. We are doing the automation of basic IHR processes on the web tutor platform, an information system that promotes training and professional development of employees as well as identifying and developing employees. I would like to emphasize once again that loyalty and trust of our employees, our clients and our partners are the main priority for Perekrestok. One of the key tasks for us is continuous improvement of operating efficiency, which allowed us to reduce losses and staff costs in the past 9 months. We continue the digital transformation of Perekrestok, and here are the ongoing initiatives in this area. Digitalization of key business processes, throughput process digitalization in stores, supply automation, digitalization of private label management, CVM, a system for managing the launch of targeted marketing campaigns, was developed and put into test operation. Increased accuracy and automation of forecasting and restocking, HR processes automation. The expected EBITDA effect from these initiatives is expected to be on the level of 3.8 billion rubles in 2021. In conclusion, I'll focus on strategic priorities for Perekrestok. We aim at further growth of our business and our market share with clear objectives on the level of return on investment. We will continue to roll out the new chain concept and plan to have more than 50% of chain stores in the new concept by the end of 2023. Our goal is to be #1 choice for customers in the ready-to-eat, HSS and private label categories. Our focus on improving service levels and customer experience remains unchanged and will be based on improved customer feedback in the decision-making process. We will judge our success both on the dynamics of NPS and NPS. We keep on focus on operational efficiency and digitalization. And last but not least, and on the list, is our care of community and focus on sustainable business development of Perekrestok. Thank you very much for your attention. We would like to thank Vladislav, and with that, I'm turning the floor to David Dovladbegyan, who is the head of Perekrestok Vprok service. Thank you, Natasha. Good afternoon, dear friends. I'm going to tell you about the Perekrestok Vprok e-commerce unit, biggest in Perekrestok. But first, I would like to start with grocery market. On the right-hand side, you can see the 2019 data, grocery share in major markets, grocery markets, there is quite notable consistency, and the penetration of grocery is the biggest in the countries, where in small territory a lot of well-off population lives, such as South Korea, China. In Russia, a grocery share in 1999 was not significant, but on the left-hand slide you can see that the share is growing, and it's quite obvious that because of lockdown and the pandemic, 2020, those things became the driver of the market, and even now I can say that in our outlook, e-grocery market will not only grow, but it will become the driver of e-commerce, and the customer missions in the market are changing, and delivery service is becoming a very important factor in customer behavior changes. Now, a few words about missions. On the slide, that whole slide holds all the information needed to know everything about customer missions. On the left-hand side, you can see all the parties in reverse dependency based on the lead time or the rate speed of delivery. So it's very much similar to offline market and based on the proximity situation. So it leads us to the conclusion that both online and offline we have two missions, replenishment of stocks and buying for future. And so replenishment means that there is a delivery service to bring products that a customer is short of. Buying for stock for the future, well, in this case, the emphasis is placed on larger interfaces, larger choice of products. So the presence of X5 in both segments of the market and the preparatory work that was done prior to lockdown enabled us to become the leaders in the market while playing emphasis on either segment of the market. Here is the business model for Perekrestok Vprok. As I said, it's our first larger e-commerce unit. It features independent infrastructure starting from the application on the website, then the order is picked on our dark stores. It's like distribution centers, they are big in space, and then those orders are delivered by own transport to customers. We have about 42,000 SKUs as an assortment, and it is comparable with online hypermarket. And we have our own logistic infrastructure enable us to build our own assortment, taking advantage of our procurement force. And much has been done in terms to improve the situation with the customer journey, and it enables us to have quite sound cohorts and involvement of customers. Speaking of the operating performance, currently we have about 12,000 orders per day, so the growth is quite aggressive, proactive, and growth was 3.8 in 2019 compared with 2018. Now it's 3 times faster, and we managed to find sound ratio between growth and proactiveness. business, and in terms of EBITDA, we became positive, and pandemic certainly was a factor, but we also did a lot in the background of pandemic, and finally came up with that level of performance. So we can speak of Perekrestok Vprok as a proven model. Our staff is about 3,000 people, and we have about 5 stores in Moscow, St. Petersburg. In order to enhance the CVP, we have built new brand. It's a sub-brand Perekrestok Vprok, and Perekrestok Online was renamed into Perekrestok Vprok, and it underlines the mission of the online market. Vprok for the future, for the stock. First of all, it means that the purchase will be quite big, and after all, it's not going to be expensive. So for future stock, you buy a lot, but not without much expenses. So we have some households who buy fortnight to 2-week stocks, so they are probably our best customers. So we are trying to maintain low prices and to establish communication with the customer. We launched a new application which very fastly became the top one. So we also launched the Vprok.ru website. And finally, I'd like to point out our strategy for the next year in terms of the CVP online hypermarket development. So we're going to launch FMC marketplace, and actually it's the time to announce its launch. It's a marketplace which is supported by 3 pillars and requirements and marketplace, and we tap on the successful marketplaces evolving as niches first, and we try to achieve high frequency, and so if there is a niche, we add it with some complementary categories which help households buy goods for stock, for future, all categories of goods. So that's how the marketplace is to be built. So next year we will see those developments. Thank you very much. Thank you, Leonid. And it's true that the Perekrestok Vprok prospects are quite impressive. With that, I would like to turn the floor to 5-post CEO, Vitaly Dyrdasov. Thank you very much, and it's my pleasure to tell you everything about the F5-post service. It's a logistic platform, actually, for X5 marketplace. And it's also for e-commerce market in general. We provide end-to-end delivery, so from e-store down to pick-up point. We support all the infrastructure. The main advantages that we have: low cost of delivery, thanks to X5 advantages, high quality of last mile, location quality too, flexible pickup model, and Sergei already told about that, extensive loyal customer base of X5, ability to make use of the already operating X5 infrastructure, and certainly our partnership with Perekrestok Vprok service. Even now, we are cooperating with the leading marketplaces, e-commerce stores in Russia. Notably, those are the partnerships with leaders such as AliExpress, Wildberries, Ozon, and we have 55 more partners in Russia. As an independent business unit, we have been working since 2019, but even now we pose ourselves as a logistic operator recognized by the market, and we are responsible for nearly 80% of parcels pick points in X5. We continue our infrastructure, but economic efficiency is the main factor for us. So our expectation for 2021 are the break even in 2021. But overall objective is to become the ultimate leader for e-commerce delivery. So by 2021, about 80% of all X5 customers will be able to pick up their parcels from us. And the turnover is in excess of 37 million. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, dear colleagues. And with that, we come to the final presentation, which will be delivered by Vladimir Kholyaznikov online. He's the FoodTech X5 unit head. Vladimir, the floor is yours. Good evening, dear colleagues. I'm pleased to have heard a lot of things about express delivery, and I'll also contribute to that.
Our business unit was founded early this year, and this year we launched the first delivery service. Express delivery is the process of executing online orders based on the existing X5 retail chain stores, and this is unlimited geographic expansion. This is a mobile-first business. Currently, we interact with the customers through a set of mobile apps. We have separate mobile apps as well as the integrations with the chain apps. We are focusing on the mobile channel because we see how the traffic in the internet goes there. All the orders that are received right now are handled with the 550 stores that are part of the delivery network, and the balance sends their order automatically to the nearest store. In most cases, the staff of the store includes some people who assemble those orders, or sometimes where we see peak volumes, we might add more people. We are targeting deliveries within 60 minutes, and 40% of the orders are done in 30 minutes. If this is from click to deliver 30 minutes, and we are using external contractors to do delivery, and we are using our federal chain and network of stores, and we are successful in delivering from our own stores and also small dark stores. And Pyaterochka now has 7 small dark stores, and they are former stores, and they are in the areas where these stores were in the clinic group for different reasons, and also this is for the areas where we have a lot of orders. Long term, we are going to focus on the delivery from the stores, and we'll see how many dark stores perform. This is a pilot format as yet, and we see that the sales density is higher than in the stores that were there before. It's hard to say what is to expect in the next 3 to 5 years. And the advantages that show the differentiation against other players in commercial delivery, 75% of Pyaterochka assortment and 80% of Perekrestok is present in the mobile apps of express delivery, which means quite a high average ticket with quite a high frequency. Definitely, we are also using actively our loyalty program in both the chains to communicate with the clients, to build up the knowledge of their service, and this creates also the traffic needed for the development of the service. Now, a few words of about the results of the express delivery. As you can see that the service has grown manifold, and this primarily happened during the first wave of lockdown and of March, early April, when the growth was 20 times, and in summer we saw lower interest to express delivery. But since 60% of the orders are made with the loyalty cards, we saw that those users of express delivery came to our offline format, so providing additional online services together with a brick-and-mortar store creates high engagement of the users and turning them into loyal users. Now in autumn, starting from the end of September, we see the accelerated development. Primarily it is driven by the weather, and right now the average number of orders handled is above 20,000 per day, and on peak days it is 25 plus orders. It is 1,500 rubles in Pyaterochka, 1,700 in Perekrestok, and those are quite big orders, and the customers usually buy 15 SKUs per order, and they are quite heavy, and on average we deliver 10 to 12 kilos. People stock up for the household, and they see the advantage of the online services to buy something that it is too heavy to bring from the nearest store, and we provide the service in 10 cities. We launched more cities in the pilot mode. By the end of the year, it will be 13 stores and 700 plus stores. Right now, the cost of delivery is 99 rubles, and we don't differentiate it here. We don't provide free delivery starting from some amount, but we also have promo campaigns. We see that the delivery market is developing extensively, and we see a significant number of people who are ready to pay for this service. And in the last slide, I would like to talk you through how we experiment, because X5 FoodTech is about the IT platform and operational platform for the express delivery services, and both Perekrestok and Pyaterochka services are operating on a single platform using joint components or shared components. The integration with each particular store, that is our courier app, the assembler courier, as well as integration gates. So in terms of the services, the key is the operational backend, and we can use several front ends with that and test different formats of the business. And Pyaterochka and Perekrestok services for express delivery have shown their viability, and they are part of the CVP of the format. And to move further along the customer journey, we were thinking how we could extend the choice and we came up with the idea of the delivery aggregator, which will be the cross-format offering within X5, so that the customers could order from Perekrestok, Pyaterochka, and Carousel. We will add partner formats there too, and we don't want to announce that, but in Q1 we are going to launch a few new segments, and long term we are going to see how this wide choice will influence our interactions with the customers, to visualize how we see the development of hyperlocal services, including Okolo aggregator. Let's see the video.
Modern technologies are increasingly facilitating the creation and development of services that make our everyday lives easier. This is particularly true for food delivery services. The express delivery segment is developing rapidly. That is why we are looking for innovative approaches to apply to our business that will help to increase the number of customers and orders. Launched in 2019, express delivery from X5's Pyaterochka and Perekrestok formats has become very popular among our customers. Today, express delivery is available in 10 Russian cities. On average, we handle around 15,000 orders a day from nearly 500 X5 stores. This led us to the decision to launch a new service called Okolo, Nearby, for express deliveries from X5 stores. Okolo is a single technology platform that supports our services across all formats, from offline to online and vice versa. Okolo will help us implement a unified express delivery management system and unlock new potential for developing X5's online channels. With the development of Okolo, X5 expects to engage nearby pharmacies, local restaurants and stores outside the X5 network. This will make us the first retailer that meets clients' needs in the delivery of products and related goods.
Thank you, colleagues. Vladimir, thank you very much. Dear colleagues, all the speakers of the second block have done their presentations. We want to thank all of you. And now we are ready to move on to the Q&A session with the participation of all the speakers for the second part. So the second Q&A session, Andrei Vasin is going to assist me here, and we are going to start with a question to the CEO, because probably there are some people who doubt, and we have this question here. Do you expect further decline in the consumer income? X5 is present in almost all the regions. Do you believe you can still grow and expand? A good question. Let me start with the strategy that we discussed back in 2018, and we promise to you that we'll strengthen our existing business, we'll do the digital transformation and build the retail of the new generation. And we have done even more than we promised. And today, when we were talking about the new strategy and that we want to be at all the stages of the customer journey, we have built already many things. We told you about the aggregator, the digital services, the new concepts of our formats in the situation of our customer when their income is going down, the recession is coming, the customers are becoming choosier, and for them it's important to choose the stores, the services that are more relevant for them. And I'm sure that the new strategy of X5 and our wish to be there on all the steps of the customer journey will bring more customers to our stores. And I believe that X5 has the best team, which is the main asset, and this will drive all of our numbers, NPS, like-for-like growth, and we still have a lot of headroom. A wonderful mini speech. Sergei, you will like the next question. How do you assess the number of calories that you got from Horeca because of the pandemic? Good question. When we saw the COVID events, the COVID outburst, most of the inflow, or some of the inflow, came from Horeca. I would say it was 1/5 of the total overflow that we got, and also some of our traditional format competitors and traditional retail. Going to the previous question, despite the progress and the success that we as the company were able to achieve, our market share is around 11 to 12%. And you know that we set ourselves an ambitious goal, and even if we assume that the share will increase to 15-18%, we are limiting it to 25%. That's a lot of businesses that we can still add. And the value proposition of each of our chains and the businesses that we are building on top of them, well, I believe that the potential for growth is phenomenally high. It's in billions of not even in billions, in trillions of rubles, not in the hundreds of billions, but in trillions of rubles. Thank you. Probably another question to the heads of the formats. During the pandemic, the pricing competition became secondary. As we come back to the post-COVID situation, do you expect more pricing competition among the market leaders? As probably we will start with Sergei, and then Vladislav could join in. During the pandemic, our main focus was on security, on ensuring the PPE for the employees, for the guests, ensuring the safety, the security of our DCs. But the pricing competition is still there. Instead of 7 stores, our guests visit 4 to 5 stores regularly, which they compare by visiting. And so the price competition is still there. But right now we don't feel it a lot, and we don't see it from the format competitors. That's my answer. The pandemic has not eliminated price competition, but price competition is not very palpable right now. Can you add anything to what Sergei said, Vladislav? I would probably support Sergei here. The price competition has not disappeared. People are still sensitive to the prices, to the promo campaigns, and they do respond to those activities. But the only thing now with those waves of the pandemic, people also respond to the proximity of the store, the assortment that they can buy there. So I would say that the competition has become more dispersed, and the people are looking at other components apart from the price. Thank you very much, Vladislav. And the next question, Igor, is to you, and Vladimir, probably you could add something. What do you think with COVID-19? Is it the right time to invest in ready-to-eat formats, in our formats, and making sure that this is available in our stores? We all understand very well that COVID-19 will come to an end sooner or later. If you look at Europe, 30% of the population eats outside, eats out. And this is on the rise in Russia. People don't want to go to the restaurants, but they also want to buy ready-to-eat in the stores. We saw how fast ready-to-eat grew in our stores during COVID. It decelerated because people were at home and they preferred to do cooking themselves because they couldn't go out. But once COVID went down, the category started growing again, and I'm sure that this category will go up in Russia in line with what we see elsewhere, and so we should be ready for both ready-to-eat and ready-to-cook. I will support you by saying that COVID-19 probably put or decelerated the growth of this segment of ready-to-eat, but definitely it will not change the trend. And one of the reasons why ready-to-eat is small in our food market, because there is no supply of this food, and we are going to work on this. I will also tell you that the ready-to-eat segment is in high demand within express delivery, which improves its growth potential. And thank you, Vladimir. Sergei, you wanted to add something? Yes, here, looking at it from the COVID perspective, the ready-to-eat food will have more demand. If you look at this rationally, going to restaurants during COVID, during the lockdown, you couldn't go to a restaurant. Now the restaurants are open, but we see that some people are going back. But anyways, we have not gone back to the before the pre-COVID numbers, and probably it will take some time. That's one thing. And the other, people have less disposable income to go to the restaurant, but people will go to the store anyways. And when people can find high-quality, ready-to-eat food, definitely there will be demand for this. And this is what we see in our stores. And I agree here with Vladimir. For us, the main challenges are high-quality food and to have the right amount of this food so that our stores have enough of that. Thank you very much, Sergei. And another question is about renovation for 2021-2023. What are the renovation plans, and how long will it take us to renovate the whole chain? And what are the differences between the model in Moscow and in the regions? I will take the second part of the question. Right now, what we are seeing, Pyaterochka in Moscow, somewhere in Metro Ulyanov Street, was not very different from what you could find in a small town of Chapayevsk in Lenin Street. It was the same store. In Moscow, it was below the mark of the guest who comes there, and in Chapayevsk, it was probably overusing its capex. What we have done in the new concept, now we have 6 different formats of Pyaterochka stores, starting from the entry level, value level, and going up. And we know that. But when the guest enters the store, they see the same Pyaterochka. Some options might be different, some materials might be different, some might be more or less expensive, but the look and feel is the same. Basically, you are seeing the very same Pyaterochka. And this is one thing. And this was the first part of the, going to the first part of the question. 800 of our stores are working with the new concept, including the renovation and the new openings. And we are not planning to decelerate the renovation. It is 1,800, and we are not planning to decelerate. And our plan is to fully renovate the fleet within 5 to 6 years. Thank you very much, Sergei.
If I may, there was a question about the potential so that the future development of the Pyaterochka format will see new opportunities for the like-for-like like-for-like growth, for new customers attraction. Only 10% of Pyaterochka stores have been upgraded into the new format. So there is a lot of space for improvement and for new concept. Thank you, Igor and Sergei. The question goes to Vladislav Kurbatov. Margins, EBITDA on supermarket are still below Pyaterochka. What are the main factors for those lower margins compared with convenience stores? And what are the prospects for Perestroika in the next, for Perekrestok in the next 2-3 years? Thank you very much for the question. As a matter of fact, I'd like to stress that in general, both Pyaterochka and us pose a unique proposition in a market. We actually complement each other. And Pyaterochka as a convenience store and Perekrestok together, we cover most of the requirements of customers in contemporary market. As for the assortment, Perekrestok this year really faces a great challenge this year because of constraints and many Perekrestok supermarkets are located in shopping malls. So for quite a long time we were locked under lockdown, and it restricted our capabilities. But together this year, at the same time, we made maximum use of our potential. And the performance that we have achieved this year is a success. And it's not our objective to catch up with Pyaterochka in terms of EBITDA. Rather, we want to stay in the supermarkets formats and retain our positions. And in the next 3 years, as in the past years, our margins will keep on growing. So in the next 2-3 years, we will continue making efforts to increase EBITDA through the density of sales and through less OPEXs. So, in other words, to catch up or overtake Pyaterochka in terms of EBITDA is not our objective. Rather, we focus on better current performance, and we want to make gradual progress towards our success. Question to Vitaly in terms of delivery. Is that business profitable? Does it make good margins? And is it in support of the growth of sales in general? Good question. I think out of all logistic operators, this business is most profitable because we are supported by the already operating X5 infrastructure. And the supply chain is cheaper for us compared with a logistic operator which is established from scratch. So as for our role in raising traffic, there are some estimates saying that when 5 post services in stores contributes for 3 to 4% of the traffic growth. Conceptual question. How do you address the cannibalization issue between Pyaterochka and Perekrestok? Is there any versatile solution or recipe? Sergei, I think you will start. There are several rules we are guided by. Several approaches, if you wish. And we have some clear-cut guidelines for opening stores and choosing localities. There are some overlapping areas, but it's not more than 4 to 6%. And if it happens, we sit together with Perekrestok team and just try to find the best solution.
Vladislav.
Vladislav, I would add, similar to my previous response, I think that we complement each other. And Sergei made a right point. So if our areas, our territories are overlapping, if there is some cannibalization, well, probably it may exist, but it's not significant. And our customers, our guests, while they're also flexible, and if you have any specific matter concerning special location, we sit together again and we discuss those things, coming to find mutually acceptable solution.
I
would add that for us it's important not to lose customers. So no matter if more customers from Pyaterochka come to Perekrestok or the opposite, it doesn't bother us much. The ultimate objective is not to lose customers. Svetlana, you would like to add something? Yeah, there are some technical things. We have a data system, or information system, named BIS, B-I-S. We have accumulated multi-year data, and including infrastructure around stores, X5 and peers. We make continuous analysis of the data we collect, and we can see that the store's opening decision-making process is improving continuously. So inside we have much more comfort compared with the situation of 3 or 5 years ago. The quality of planning, the quality of solutions is gradually but steadily growing. But at the beginning of our day, the question was asked if you are going to emphasize on the quality of agricultural products. They are low compared with fresh or green markets. Thank you very much for the question. We are working on that, and we would like to have a better quality of agricultural products compared with open markets. The issue is that the matter is that we have already launched the project which is called Freshness. It will help us to improve the quality of the products in our stores. And I'm confident that in the next 6 months the situation will radically change in this particular sense in freshness category. And I might add, speaking of quality in general, in both Perekrestok and Pyaterochka, we are promoting the direct imports. There is a CVI company which is customized, which is tailored for that, and the quality of products on the shelves is improving continuously. So probably we will also promote that direct imports. The next question, I think it goes to Sergei or Svetlana. It's about competition. I wonder if the upgrade of magnet chain stores affects X5 chains. And same question about competition on the part of Vkusvil and Red and White. Speaking of our upgrades, we made a note. So when you launch a format, And if there is the competition is tough, if competition is dense, the stronger the density, the more competitors stores we have, the better we perform. So it implies that the new concept attracts more and more customers. And as for the innovations we have introduced, and we compare ourselves not only with Vkusvil or Red and White, we compare ourselves with best practices so that we can borrow something and implement it in our concepts. So one of the international editions I mentioned before, they say that Pyaterochka are world-class stores. And if you think that magnet upgrades affect us, well, it doesn't.
I believe it was really full, and probably we can speak about online businesses, and Vladimir could add something. Is there any cannibalization between our businesses of online stores and express delivery? This is our favorite question about cannibalization. I believe this word can be easily excluded from our communications because our online works in two formats. We have stocking up and additional purchasing, and express delivery is about omni-channel, while Perekrestok Vprok is about stocking up or has a bigger assortment, longer delivery time, and the interface and customer journey, it's more like classical e-commerce. And we spoke about launching the marketplace, and there is no cannibalization, and we should be present in all the missions, like Igor spoke about online and offline, so that our customers wouldn't leave for our competitors. And I know many people who are using express delivery when they need express delivery from Pyaterochka or Perekrestok when they need something to eat right now. But if it comes to household chemicals or some stuff for the home, they would use Perekrestok Vprok, and it is about complementary service. And the post-COVID question, here we have to look at the experience of other countries who have gone through the lockdown. For example, China, the delivery services are not going down, and people are getting used to this convenience. They can spend more time with their family and spend more time on themselves. They continue using the service after the lockdown, and the restaurants were not growing during the lockdown, while the express delivery increased, and the delivery continued to work well, while the other sectors did not recover fast. Igor, you wanted to add something? Leonid said a very important thing. When we spoke about the food market, we said that we want to be in all the client missions around food. That is stocking up, that is express delivery, that's going to a brick-and-mortar store. And today we are offering our customers all of these customer missions, and our task is to make sure that all of these missions are met within X5 perimeter. And we provide these opportunities. We are not thinking about cannibalization. When a customer is thinking about a certain customer mission, they should find what they need with us. As to Perekrestok Vprok, online hypermarket, we said that we are not very confident about hypermarkets, and the hypermarkets are going online, and that's what we are entering. At Thank you very much, Vladimir. If you have anything to add, probably you could join in. Yes, thank you for the question. And once again, I would like to go back to the numbers. The total of the e-grocery market was 40 billion. This year it is going to be 145 billion. And there are some players who basically took over most of this incremental growth. Everyone who was able to manage their growth is a winner. And the e-grocery market is the fire which should be further fueled by the e-services, and we don't see any cannibalization inside our own services. We are also analyzing where the customers are going, and we don't see customers living for the competitors, because it is about the high growth for the whole industry, and long-term strategy is integration between our services and the users of express delivery. And Perekrestok, Vprok, they see that there is an overlap, and since express delivery does not deliver outside the city, and they deliver only around our stores, and if people cannot use express delivery, they can use the online hypermarket Vprok. As to the COVID situation, as one of the colleagues mentioned, when creating new industries, there is this factor: how do you form a habit? Because most of the marketing money, the coupons and promos go there, and express delivery and e-grocery as the industries are the industries which were not in the habit of people, and COVID has pushed everyone forward. They made people use express delivery, and people see, including women, that this is nothing extraordinary, ordering food online, and we are sure that the business will grow. We saw less demand after the first wave in summer, but it was seasonal. We believe that our customers, loyal customers, like to come to our stores, and definitely other stores, because it is a part of their lifestyle and pastime. And the express delivery will grow faster, but it is also about the area and geography. So we had a lot of questions around dividends. Svetlana, can you explain by how much we can increase our dividends? Is it 1.5 times more or less, and why and how? I believe this is the right question, and we have to get it straight. Until 2023, how can our profitability and dividends grow? As to the profitability, I'll start by that. To clarify, we expect that every year, starting from 2021 up to 2023, our revenue will grow by more than 10%, which means that our revenue will outgrow our costs, and there will be the structural factors which will drive our profitability. Apart from that, as we showed by region, we are seeing economies of scale where we see higher density of stores, so we see higher margins. And as we discussed today, right now we don't see such a pressure in pricing, and we are moving more to the personalized promo, which will put less pressure on the commercial margin, plus the optimizations in decreasing the shrinkage and additional talks with the suppliers and building new relations with the suppliers, as well as data analytics that helps promo and pricing. We are making better decisions also in investing. All of this creates new efficiencies which contribute to our EBITDA margin. So at the end of the day, we see that with the increase of revenue and higher profitability next year, given that I'm answering this question third time in a row this year. We paid 30 billion last year, so it means 45 billion that we will be able to pay. As a financial person, I see potential for that, but the decision will not be made by the management, but by the general shareholders meeting, and we are going to make optimistic recommendations for the dividend payout. All right, I would like us to finish on this optimistic note, and we have gone through our agenda. We want to thank everyone who was here with us. Thank you for your time, and I want to thank all of you here, all the speakers who are here, and the speakers who were with us remotely. I also want to thank our PR and IR departments. Thank you very much, and see you next year. Thank you.